cut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out that more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. A-side official, no negotiations needed, period. You already know WCS is back in the building. Salute to everyone that's en route and support the channel. You already know, got to show love. Man, let's get down to multiple. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to be on here long this morning because I got stuff to do. But let's talk about it and try to get an understanding and clarification as to what we just witnessed yesterday. You know what I'm saying? There was the good and the bad. The pluses, minuses, pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? The ups and downs. We're going to get down to it, shouty. Where you want to start at? We're gonna keep the thumbnail as far as the welterweight division, talk about Barrios. You know, we're going to talk about the welterweight division, the way it's looking right now. People probably licking their chocks and salivating, drooling on themselves after seeing Barrios go in there and have a tough go with Abel Ramos. Yeah, that 147-pound division. Ooh. It's looking a little tasty, huh? You know what I'm saying? They're looking for that paperwork, for that ink. Hey, send me a DocuSign. They trying to get that fight now. They looking at Mario Barrios like food. Yeah. Let's start off with Amanda Serrano. Now, in all seriousness, right? Amanda Serrano is a tough son of a gun. I'm not going to hold you. She's tough as hell. She's tough as hell. I mean, we know that already, but she proved it once again in there with Headbutt Master Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Always using her head and cutting fighters up. If it was somebody else who I thought that didn't really perform the way they supposed to, then I'll use what Amanda Serrano and her coach, her trainer, used. But no, they was right, man. You know, Katie Taylor used that freaking big ass head, that overgrown goddamn squash, and put an unbelievable cut on Amanda Serrano's head. Serrano sits at 47 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, and 31 knockouts. And if you look down when she fought Katie Taylor back in April of 2022, it was at 135. You know what I'm saying? And this was close to 140 for the freaking unification for all the titles, right? And then early in her career, Amanda Serrano lost to Frida Wahlberg, who's undefeated at 130. But one thing Amanda did say that stood out to me she said she's from the lower divisions. And she came all the way up here to fight Katie Taylor. So you selected the choice. You selected the challenge to come up here and try to compete. And when you take that challenge to come up here to compete, it's no, telling people that I'm a little girl and all that. No, you selected to come up here and compete with a bigger fighter in Taylor, including her head. So everything that comes with moving up in division, you have to understand. If you thought that Katie Taylor was dirty already from back in the day when you fought her, and you didn't receive a freaking deep gash in your head until you fought somebody like her, then you already know what she's about, right? You already know she's about the goddamn dirty boxing. And boy, did that cut look bad. That cut was extremely graphic. And she fought on. Now, I want you all not just to listen to what I'm saying about the cut, because Amanda Serrano is a warrior. She stepped up all those divisions. When on the male side, when it comes to the male side, people want to bitch and complain all the time. Seriously. They just want to bitch and complain, man. They're talking about what can't be done, what here and there. But they don't say that shit about Amanda Serrano. Serrano came up from all those divisions to fight. I'm at 140. And you're like, oh, well, let me sit up here and not recognize how much, intestinal fortitude, how much courage you got, you have to have, how much damn grit and ferociousness you have to fight on with a cut this big. Look at that gash. That's huge, bro. The only other person I know on the male side that fought with an eye like this, well, that's many. But Jojo Diaz, his eye was fucked up like this. It's been plenty, but his eye was fucked up like this. Cut right up over the, right below the brow. Yeah, bad cut. But the referee allowed it to go on. For the sake of the check. For the sake of what they was trying to put on last night. It was some things that was going on in there, and the referees just act like they was fucking cataract bound. Like they had goddamn 3, 4, 5 stages of cataracts. They weren't looking at shit. Seriously, all the dirty boxing rep, they was up there acting like Kenny Bayless without his glasses. They was acting like Kenny Bayless with his glasses. Got like they didn't see a motherfucking thing. But shout out to Katie Taylor for getting the victory. Amanda Serrano did what she had to do, but Katie Taylor, she's a tough fighter also. They went in there and scrapped it out. But her head, with the way they have them braids and all that, she knows how to use that head, and she cut Serrano up something fierce. You know what I'm saying? That's a crazy cut right there. That's flesh, y'all. That's flesh right there. And that's going to be there for the rest of her life. For real. She can get that surgically done, but that cut right there is a bad freaking cut. That's damn near a 4-inch cut. That's like a 4 or 5-inch cut right below her right brow. But you know what? Congrats to Amanda Serrano, because she gave it all she had to, in that particular fight to the end. And once again, she didn't get the nod. You know what I'm saying? She did not get the nod. For whatever reason, she didn't get the nod. But she get the nod in my book for moving up divisions. And I hope the fellas that talk this boxing over here, I hope they stop acting like men cannot do what Amanda Serrano has done. You know what I'm saying? The way they talk about people moving up divisions as if they're getting soft, mushy. You know what I'm saying? Just wet when they talk about boxing all the time. And it's not perspiration. It's just being moist and feminine. Feminine in the wrong way. These women are being feminine, showing you that they can make changes. You know what I'm saying? They can go out here and say, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Be confident in challenging themselves and moving up multiple divisions. Over when it comes to the males, though, they always acting like it's weight division for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Which one is it going to be? Because, she moved up and did her thing. She didn't get the nod, but she moved up several divisions also. But anyway, shout out to Amanda Serrano. You did your thing. And maybe you should just move back down the division, because unless you can stop them head cuts, that's the second time you've been cut open facing Katie Taylor. So maybe you should just chill and move back down to the regular division. You know what I'm saying? Um, which one do I want to go to next? Let's go to Mario Barrios, right? All right. For those of you that follow the channel, I always have to put that out there as a reminder. What did I tell you that it was going to be difficult for Mario Barrios to do? I said it was going to be difficult for Mario Barrios to get his ass out the bed, right? He has a family now. Mario Barrios has a family and a beautiful wife. You know, it's quite difficult when you got a newborn. You have a newborn on deck, and you're in a full contact sport, and you're still trying to. Not only are you a full contact sport, but you are reigning WBC welterweight champion. So therefore, you just don't have responsibilities and obligations you have to meet. You have to go to training to maintain that slot. And him going in there against Abel Ramos, man, you know, people thought that Barrios should be okay. And he went in there, and early on, yeah, he was able to land on Abel Ramos, but something start to play itself out. Just like I said, it's not the first time. You know what I'm saying? It's not the first time we've seen Mario Barrios go in there and take punishment. Go in there and show him, and you know, allow him to be in front of millions and get beat up. I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know what the Elasteca, I don't know what that means when it comes to the warrior spirit anymore. I don't know what that means when it comes to Mario Barrios, because I had the opportunity to see his freaking walkout, you know, with my own eyes. Beautiful how he is, you know what I'm saying, practicing that. He believes in it. He's a part of it. But I said this. I said, you know, it may be a little bit different for Mario Barrios to get out of bed with that beautiful wife and kid now. When you start your family, that's the most precious. Your first seed, that's the most precious time ever. That's the moment that you want to last forever. But how long is it going to last when you continue? And this is an older picture. It's the reason why I'm showing this. This is him like he got into it with the Mayans. And then this is another fight. Mario Barrios, if you just started your family, and I left him this, you know, message on IG. I say, man, congrats to you for getting a draw. But what you should work on is defense if you want to have spend time with your family later on in life. If you want to have that, you know what I'm saying, that's just carefree with your kid to have a conversation, and your kid don't see the ill effects of boxing when they start to get older. Because you're getting beat up and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about how Mario Barrios get beat up all the time. And is that Elasteca? Are you representing the warrior spirit by going in there and not boxing? Bro, you take punishment. And you take punishment, I would say, more than any other, the three champions that's in the welterweight division. Stanthionis, Jerron Ennis, and Brian Norman Jr. You take the most damage. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to come over here to you now. They see you as easy work. But one of them going to have to fight one another before they get to you. But they're going to come over there and see you as easy work. Because you start off pretty decent and then you just crush. You just crash and burn sometime, man. And Abel Ramos went in there and he really felt like, you know, he did something special, which he did. He knocked you down. He was able to earn a knockdown. But it's just he wasn't supposed to, at this point in time, if you are who they say you are, he wasn't supposed to be on you like that. You know what I'm saying? Abel Ramos, he wasn't supposed to be giving you such a hard time like that, but you allow him to. And right now, Team Ennis definitely is over there saying, hey, we may need to go over there and scoop up that WBC. Brian Norman Jr., hey, we may need to go over there and scoop up that WBC. You know what I'm saying? Because Barrios talking about unifying, but he may just unify with Stanthionis because he feel that's an easier fight for him to unify and pick up another belt. As in, on the other two sides, the IBF and the WBO, it would behoove them to try to set that fight up next year. And, he don't have any major cuts like freaking Amanda Serrano. But at the end of the day, he had another tough fight. And it was a draw. Ramos down in round 2, Barrios down in round 6. And you think the rest of the freaking welterweight division is not looking at you like you the easy one? Absolutely they are. This dude get punished too much. His next fight, if it's with a champion, depending on who it is, I think he gets stopped. Real talk. Whether it's Ennis, Norman Jr., Stanthionis, he may get stopped. His mind may be focused on his wife, which it should, but it's quite difficult to get up and go to training when you have a newborn there that's warming your heart, and it's your first seed. You want to, you just want to shower them with all that love. You want to just, pay attention to their mannerisms and everything. It ain't nothing like your first child, and him being a boxer, getting beat up the way he is. I don't know, Mario, if you understand this, but you might have some residual effects later on in life when your son does get of age and you're able to talk about what you used to do and he understands it and everything. If you keep getting beat up the way you're getting beat up, bro. All these fights, you're going in, man, you are taking punishment. Look at your nose, bro. Ella Stecker don't work on defense. Y'all just work on the warrior spirit. Somebody let me know. They just work on the warrior spirit. They don't work on freaking defense over there, Ella Stecker. Ella Stecker. I mean, I like Mario Barrios, man. Talk to the guy when he was down here in Atlanta. But he takes too much punishment. And you have 3 other champions at the welterweight division is definitely looking at Mario Barrios. It's easy work. Believe me when I tell you, they're looking at Mario Barrios say, I know what his vulnerabilities are. He can get hit. I know what his vulnerabilities are. Shout out to Collins Jr. in the building. Damn shame she took on all of them headbutts. Yeah, bro. Goddamn, it was a damn good fight. Good scrap. Good energy, man. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano special. And once again, Katie Taylor goes in there and gives another fighter one of the worst cuts that you can get. And the ref allowed the fight to go on. So, one of my reasons for making a point about this is that a lot of times, man, that the male boxers, they complain about getting cut and stuff like that. And it may be her MMA prowess too. She does MMA like Heather Hardy. Heather Hardy was tough, but she's facing the telltale signs of the residual effects of her damage. I did a live back in the day on how Heather Hardy had an MMA bout, and she was taken down, right? And her opponent, they was scrambling to get back to their feet, and her opponent shin kicked her to the face, busted her nose wide open. And Heather Hardy kept on fighting. They had to stop the fight. See, shit like that, you're gonna have residual effects like she has now. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a boxer that took punishment, and she was a mixed martial artist who took punishment. Same with Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano is tough, man. She's a mixed martial artist and a boxer. You know, shout out to IOTBA Boxing Talk in the building, the goat on deck. What it do? Salute to you, brother. Barrios here, the human pinata. Yeah, man. That shit was kind of irritating me a little bit. I'm like, damn, man, use some motherfucking defense, dog. Use some defense. This shit don't make no sense. What we got going on? You supposed to be contending. It's one person that I know for a fact. I go on record today. You know what I'm saying? I'll go on record today and say this clearly in sound mind and sobriety. You know what I'm saying? That Mario Barrios is not going to be the welterweight undisputed. Mario Barrios, when he decides to fight the other champions, he's not going to be champion too much longer. Because Abel Ramos was able to drop him. And that's after he dropped Ramos. I don't know if his mind is at home. I don't know if Mario just liked being in wars so they can put his picture up in Google. And, you go up there and search, Google, Mario Barrios damage. Oh, shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? This is two different fights, man. Like, dude. And then, not to mention the fight that he had yesterday. Let me see, can I find Mario Barrios' fight that he had yesterday? He came out there looking fucked up yesterday. And I'm saying to myself, how you expect to enjoy your kid, bro? And you keep on getting beat the fuck up. And you got some hitters? You got some hitters left in the welterweight division? You got some motherfucking hitters remaining. And you want to get beat the fuck up like you doing. I don't see how you plan on having longevity in this bitch, man. I don't see how you plan on having longevity in it. This is him and Abel Ramos. Look at Mario Barrios' face, bro. Both of these fighters took punishment. But I'm looking at Barrios. Barrios went in there once again. Now he has to go home to his kid. Halloween is past. And you about to scare the shit out of your kid. You know what I'm saying? You about to make him grow up. Make her grow up quicker than she wanted to. Because you up there all swelled up, blue in the face and all that. And you got to go in there with your newborn and scare her. She's going to be crying all night. She ain't going to have shit in her diaper or nothing. Every time you walk out there and both your eyes swelled up the way it is, your kid going to be crying. And she's going to get old enough. Daddy, can you stop boxing? I don't want you to. Okay, sunflower. Okay, sunflower. Daddy, stop boxing. And then his wife is going to be like, No, I'm not working right now. Okay, I'm not working right now. You still have to box. Don't get it twisted. I know this is a pillow talking moment, but you still have to go in there and tell your coaches. I know a little bit about boxing too. I have some brothers in boxing. I am a Figueroa. Work on your defense. His wife should be giving him advice to work on his defense, babe. You taking too much punishment. Work on your defense. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Work on your goddamn defense, bro. I'm not gonna take too much longer on that. But Barrios, you in trouble. You in trouble when it comes to the other champions. If you choose to fight them in unification, you're in trouble, big dog. That's all I gotta say about that. You're in trouble. Before I get to the Jake Paul and Canelo situation, I want to basically put a PSA out there about how things have changed. How I say back in the day, how men used to easily, it was normal for a female to pass us by, right? And she looked, easy on the eyes, you compliment it. And, most of the time, if we're talking amongst ourselves, say, damn, shawty bad. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's what you say, damn, shawty bad. Okay. All right. And back in the day, it's just like, man, she a dime. Even though she might be a 7, an 8, she a dime piece. Okay, cool. That's old school shit, right? And, on this social media, if you compliment a female or you have some of these females that frequent, they act weird too. They act like you can't freaking be sweet to them, flirt with them in a complimentary way, not to get with them, but just to welcome them, how we automatically, say queens and all this, right? But you niggas are different today. I don't know how many I saw these males putting this butt shot of Mike Tyson being pimped around yesterday doing dumb shit. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. That shit with him grabbing his sack and goddamn this butt shot right here remind me of motherfuckers being pimped out on the street corner, shawty. I mean, look, you up here, you on the MVP Promotions banner, and don't get on the chat talking about, hey man, you better be quiet, Mike. I don't give a fuck about any of that, bro. Mike Tyson showed his ass. Real talk. That nigga grabbed his sack and goddamn showed his ass and got niggas up here parading and posting that shit on IG. Look at Mike. They probably got that shit on their desktop in loop. You nasty nigga. You got that shit on loop on your desktop. Huh? Why? Why did they do that to Mike? It's almost like Mike sold himself out, bro. For real. It's almost like he sold himself out. They had this man in a provocative predicament, a moment of exposure. Something if your kids, Netflix. Okay, do your kids look at Netflix? Yes. I'm pretty sure they was looking at Netflix. So it's supposed to be a Jake Paul card and all that. Kudos. But at the weigh-in, that shit was over the top. Anybody else would have did that. Not named Mike Tyson. People would have been scrambling to do a thumbnail and talking about, oh, how he disrespected little kids. Oh, man. He should be fine. He should be fine. The women that was there with their kids, oh, they're disgusted. But you same dudes are on IG continue to post this over and over again. And when I posted the one with him grabbing his sack, right, I said, Mike is just reminding you all that he don't give a fuck. He wouldn't do anything for money. It seemed like he was pimped out because what stand out most the whole night was not the fight. It was the fact that he goddamn grabbed his shit on the way in and he was doing the interview and walked away with his ass out. Why? You could have very well put on shorts. Who authorized that? Who said do it? Just because it's Jake Paul, MVP Promotions, it got to be some controversial shit. It got to be some nudity. I mean, why Jake Paul didn't have his girl come out, and do something provocative? It's always a male. And if you got some fine ass females like them ring card girls in there, and I say, damn, them girls are fine wherever they may came from. They very, very easy on the eyes. You know what I'm saying? To get yourself the daydreaming and somebody say, hey man, I hear you always compliment females, man. You a perv. You this. That's what kind of society we in. But this bullshit I'm seeing with Mike, I didn't like it, bro. I didn't like that shit at all. They was just taking full advantage of the way that shit went down. And, my take on this whole Mike Tyson, Jake Paul debacle was he did exactly what he wanted to happen. He went in there and promoted the shit out of this fight. They had to have a weigh-in situation where people thought Mike was going to knock him out. Paulie Malignaggi came in there and said, hey, I'm just going to let y'all know Jake Paul is stopping Mike Tyson, period. It's the time during those 8 2-minute rounds that I would say it was the first minute, and that's the most action that Mike Tyson gave Jake Paul. But then when you look at the other 7 rounds in a minute, Jake Paul didn't do shit. They moved around. He didn't do a motherfucking thing. Mike was trying to do something, but Mike aged so bad yesterday. I mean, Mike went from 58 to 88. He went from 58 to 88. This nigga, I say, if he keep on aging in this motherfucker, they gonna have to get a goddamn electric cart and goddamn have his ass sit down in that cart They're gonna have to bring that custom vehicle that Jake Paul them drove out there and cart Mike off in the back of it. He came in there with a knee brace on. You know, man, Mike, please, I don't want to see him in the ring no more. If you got to show your ass, your black ass, just to get some freaking notoriety this damn time, just because you on Jake Paul and they want you to be controversial, he looked in tremendous shape. But a black man selling himself out, you know, in this particular day, even though we are far past the censorship barometer that we was on back in the day, but just for him of all people to go over there, kind of put the blast on the little the girl, the young teen that gave him an interview talking about his legacy, and she was just going through the format of being a journalist, okay? And that's not the only time she's ever going to run into somebody like Mike. But Mike Tyson, you know, you saw it for yourself. He pretty much, you know, ran her up the tree. He said, man, this shit ain't nothing. Man, you say what you want to say. Legacy means nothing, man. Nobody's going to remember you. Man, come on, man. It is what it is. Just like you said about the championship belts. They're trash. They this, they that. It means nothing. You know? But I don't want to see Mike if he got to be in his drawers, you know, do an interview, walking around, and people up here seeing your black ass walking around, your 58-year-old black ass walking around the damn locker room. Anybody see that? Because you got a lot of niggas on this YTC that was goddamn dimming the lights, if you know what I mean. You got a lot of niggas on the YTC that was dimming the lights. They up here looking left and right like they about to damn break in the shit, but no, they about to get comfortable. Let me pause that right there. Let me edit that, put that in loop. Okay. All right. They was some of the niggas was on some of these panels that was doing fight parties and shit, and they goddamn they was on live and you could see them, and then all of a sudden they clicked off their camera when that shit came on with Mike. They was gone the first 3 rounds. Nigga popped back on the camera all sweaty and shit. To my damn, man, the air went out, man, the heat. Ain't this winter over there? Oh my, yeah, my bad, man. What I mean by the air, I got a window fan, right? You know, anyway, man, you wouldn't understand. Yeah, man, there's a lot of dudes that was pretty happy to see that. I wasn't. I just felt like Mike got pimped. I feel like if a woman would have did what you did, they would have been dragging her ass across the damn social media right now. If a woman would have went over there and reached under and grabbed her vajayjay in the manner for which Mike did it, then people would be dragging her ass all across social media, period. But we got a 58-year-old man on here that's goddamn showing us the way it used to be for him, because that's Mike. That's the old Mike. He ain't went nowhere. Don't believe the hype. And he up here flashing motherfuckers, not just at the weigh-in in the locker room. Why? You could have put your trunks on. You put your, come on, man. You put your guard on and you couldn't put your trunks on. You had to have a moment where you thought it was gonna go viral, and thanks to those dudes out there, it did. Shit don't make no motherfucking sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shit don't make no sense. But, you know, shout out to Mike Tyson, man. You did a hell of a job at 58 years old for going moving around 8 rounds, doing nothing but posturing. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul, once again, he did what he had to do. He went over there and moved around with Mike for 8 rounds and didn't do shit. And then do a motherfucking thing except barely tap him. And Mike said, I won't lose. Well, how's that going to come to fruition if you don't land a fucking punch? Mike landed, what, 3 punches the whole fight? Thank God of the rule changes. I'm glad they goddamn took the rule changes and freaking made that shit 2 minutes. I'm glad. Holy be thy name. Holy be thy name, for real. because I don't want to see another Mike Tyson freaking I don't want to see another Mike Tyson fight. I don't want to see anybody trying to fight Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see none of that. We have enough things going on with the election on black men and what we didn't do and all that. And then, you got the old, thug life. Mike Tyson is the old school thug life. He up here showing his black ass like somebody want to look at that shit. What if a female? Why can y'all have a female for the whole night do some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? It's some men out here that want to look at some females, some of them buns. You up here showing the nigga buns, man. I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, do they show females like that anymore? Is the message just straight? Oh, you got a majority male audience in boxing. Let's just show Mike Tyson his black ass at 58 years old. Why you couldn't have no female flash or something? A ring card girl or something have a freaking wardrobe malfunction or something when she was, climbing through the ropes trying to grab the card. Man, anyway, bullshit, man. I had to bring this up. What do y'all think about, Jake Paul? And pretty much with him saying that Canelo Alvarez needs him. Who wants to see Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez? At this point in time, I don't give a damn. And I know some people are going to think that I'm going to debate this. I'm going to argue, front to back, start to finish, about why Jake Paul, after what I seen with a 50-year-old Mike Tyson, why would I want to see him fight Canelo? Reason being is it's boxing, and it's turned into a carnival again. But this time it's different. You have more non-black individuals that's willing to put on shows that's not really real boxing, but somewhat of entertainment value. You have real boxers on your card. You have real sanctioned fights on your card, right? You have real sanctioned fights that's on your card. But at the end of the day, what does it say? You have that one card that's the main event that's freaking leading up, you know what I'm saying, to the grand finale. And then you have someone like Jake Paul that can schedule. Check this out now. Let me show you something. That can schedule a freaking fight with a legend, and the legend sells out for the money. This is Mike Tyson, 50 victories, 7 defeats, and he sells out to a quote unquote boxer. So Mike Tyson, in all of his history, when he's long gone, people are going to look at his resume and talk about who he fought that was considered real boxers. And the night that he fought, a 10-1 content creator turned boxer. A content turned boxer. Mike Tyson now has this on his record, y'all. Mike Tyson has a loss to Jake Paul. I'm showing it to you first. There you go. Mike Tyson is now on a 3-fight losing streak. At 58 years old, he selected to fight Jake Paul. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather is not the same. It's not the same. Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury is not the same. Okay? Both of them guys were UFC champions. Okay? They're not the same. Jake Paul, man, look, okay. Let me take the mop for a second and show you. Let's go over here and try to sanitize Jake Paul's resume. And then he's talking about Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo, he wants the Canelo fight. I look, I'm thinking about it, y'all, right? You know how my imagination can be. Like, I was thinking about it, and I said, this probably why Canelo's been freaking giving a complimentary knockdown and taking guys to the 12th round. He's preparing for the Jake Paul fight. You got to do rehearsals, right? You got to do mother rehearsals right. That's what he's been doing. I thought about that shit last night. I say, you know what? That's what Canelo ass doing. Canelo's in motherfucking rehearsal for this shit right here. But check this out. He has Mike Tyson, Michael Perry, and shout out to Dirty Boxing Championship. Mike Perry, whoever this guy is, in the first round, he want to percolate. Bum. Let me see if this is the same one. He's one of them. Andre August. We know he took a dive. That mother came in there with his goddamn trunks on. He had already been practicing. Michael Phelps was up there with the goddamn time watch. Go. I mean, he was goddamn doing freestyle, the butterfly, breaststroke, all that shit. He came in there ready to hit the pool. Nate Diaz, you know, at one point in time, he had some of the best hands in combat sports, but he too is kind of over the hill. And, you know, unfortunately, Tommy Fury, from a boxing pedigree, he loses. And look at the scorecards for yourself. He loses a split decision. Anderson Silva, an MMA legend, he's also older. Anderson Silva, he's so old, they took his damn age off of freaking BoxRec. Tyron Woodley, twice. I told y'all when this was going on that Tyson Woodley, who was there when he fought Ben Askren, who is Tyson Woodley's friend, that Tyson Woodley would be next. I told y'all that when it was happening because I was at that Ben Askren fight. I shot that fight. Tyron Woodley goes in there and goes the distance, no problem, 8 rounds. But yet they need to make it exciting to booster up Jake Paul. So they bring Tyron Woodley back, and he gets flatlined in round 6. And we all know about Nate Robinson, the basketball player, and the content creator, Ali Gibb. Look at this resume. Before you even go to any other boxer that has a license in this sport and talk about resumes, you should always come back here to this porta potty. Yeah, you should come back to this porta potty and you should ask yourself how long you should stay in this motherfucker. You know how you walk in a porta john and it's at a community event and you really don't know how much DNA is sitting in there, but you can smell it. How long should you stand around and inhale this shit right here? Because they're talking about lining him up for a future fight with Canelo Alvarez at 11-1 and 7 knockouts. Not to mention, no one's talking about drug tests. Hey, no one's talking about drug tests, but they want to have Victor Conte on. They want to talk about the snack program. But whenever it's a fight, a MVP promotion fight with Jake Paul, no one's talking about freaking drug tests. But for the real boxers, they want to run them through the mud and talk about Victor Conte and if this fighter's on that and that fighter may be on this and talk about Osterring when they don't even have freaking testing like that. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, it's not like Jake Paul is in the ranking systems, you know, because fighters can fight and you start to get tested regularly when you get up in the rankings. See, the way he's doing it, he's able to go to these contests and fight these over-the-hill guys because they're not ranked. So you don't have to worry about drug testing. You don't have to worry about it. Imagine that. You don't have to worry about anything except showing up to fight. But they trying to line this man up for Canelo Alvarez, y'all. Think about that. They're lining him up to fight the one and only Canelo Alvarez with a record like this. With a record like this, y'all. Look at this. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. 4 freaking debuts. Okay. All together. 0-1. 3-1. 8-0 Tommy Fury, a boxer. His 5th debut of his record, right? His 5th debut. 10-1, 17-2, 0-1, which was a former MMA guy. And then Mike Tyson. And people up here trying to hype up Jake Paul to face Canelo Alvarez. Why? Because they sold themselves out. They're shitty individuals when it comes to making decisions about their favorite fighter. They'll sit up here and try to argue you up and down. But you know one thing they're going to get on here and say today and Monday, they want to talk about what they did at the gate. Anybody that looked at that arena could see that that shit was not packed out. Okay? But they'll get on here today and they'll say, oh man, they did $3 trillion at the gate. They had ringside $2 million boxes. They had a little cubby space next to the ring that was $2 million to sit. $2 million, and it ain't first of all, it ain't about 6 beautiful women over there. First of all, I'm not getting fanned down with palm leaves. I'm not being hand fed the finest premium filet mignon. You trying to tell me what I seen last night with those individuals that was sitting over there in a freaking cubby hole that looked like it's big enough to play undisputed? 2 players are in there all tight and snuggled together. Hey man, move, man. I need more space, man. They gave them some freaking bowls of freaking walnuts, pistachios and shit, some olives, some crackers and cheese and grapes. 2 million? Man, you must be out your mind trying to sell all that shit. They're going to sell up here. Oh, they had $2 million seats ring. Are you serious, bro? The man, look, I saw them dudes sitting over there. It looked like they was uncomfortable. They can barely breathe, bro. But he put on a show. Unfortunately, I have to sit here and listen to these dudes talk about how many tickets were sold at the gate. And then tell me, oh, we shut Netflix down. Netflix needed something to shut it down. What are you saying? Netflix needed. Netflix was over there, got their feet kicked up and shit. It wasn't shit going on over Netflix. And then they tell me, oh, we shut Netflix down. Good. It took Mike Tyson to go up here and grab his balls and freaking flash his ass for people to go to Netflix. It took for them. How many times y'all gonna follow? I mean, how many times you gonna fall for a Mike Tyson edited version of him training? How many times you gonna fall for that shit? He knocking a dude down. And then they say, oh, that's enough, Mike. You sure? You sure? Man, no, stay here for another 15 rounds. The old school, Mike. 3 minutes. No, I'm just playing. I'm going. Oh, my body aches. How many times y'all gonna fall for them edited motherfucking clips of him freaking throwing punches? And look, before I get to the welterweight division, let me say this. For all you debaters out there, understand this, and I'm being absolutely as genuine as possible, okay? In a nefarious manner. If you all don't recognize, certain things that's right there in front of your face, how you criticize the real boxers for boxing and keeping range, distance, and working off the jab, you know what I'm saying? Setting up their combinations, using their footwork. If you're going to continue to criticize them, but yet you applaud Jake Paul for the shit he did yesterday with a 50-year-old man, you just full of shit, man. You don't take this serious. You are You are just one of the primary players in the carnival. You know what I'm saying? You're one of the actors. You're one of the ones jumping through the motherfucking hoop of fire. You're one of the ones scooping up the freaking doo-doo and dung that the elephants leave when they come out there, and you've been feeding them all day and they've been waiting for their opportunity to shine. You're no different. You're just a carnival act. You're one of the participants in the carnival act. Because Jake Paul, y'all sit here and criticize Shakur, you criticize Devin, I mean, you'll criticize all these other fighters for not really engaging, but you're a rebel in the moment with Jake Paul and how he went in there and went 8 rounds. And you're gonna have people on here trying to say, oh man, he beat up Mike Tyson. Bro, say whatever you want. That was some bullshit yesterday. He didn't do shit. That was one of the worst license fight I seen in a while. One of the worst. I know it included a 58-year-old man. I get it. But the dude that put him in there and tried to convince people he was going to knock him out and doing all that WWE shit, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Sometimes I just get sick and tired of seeing this guy, Jake Paul, but they are doing something good for those that was on the card, because you see a lot of boxers, they was over there and some of them didn't get no airtime. They was just happy to be on the card. They got no airtime, yo. The real boxers, they didn't get no freaking airtime like that. Not from what I seen. I mean, some of the boxers that started boxing when they was 27 years old, but yet they had a social media following and all this other shit, they got more airtime than a little bit. But that shit right there, man. Jake Paul didn't do shit. For a 50-year-old man, he didn't even do nothing. And I know, you know what I'm saying? I knew what it was. They weren't going to allow Mike Tyson to get knocked out by Jake Paul. Come on. They weren't going to do that, because that'll be an everlasting freaking meme that'll be out there, that the white fighter Jake Paul knocked out the black fighter just because he had money. Mike Tyson sold out and got knocked the fuck out by Jake Paul. They didn't want that, because there's some hardcore Mike Tyson fans out there. They didn't want to see that shit. They didn't want Mike Tyson to cause a riot. You know what I'm saying? You knock Mike Tyson out, bro. Come on, man. You might not make it out the parking lot. But shout out to Mike, man. They put him on some nice gear. Nobody's talking about freaking drug testing here. I guarantee you Mike wasn't on Ostarine. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you took Mike's motherfucking piss. That shit'll go straight through the bottom of the cup. You remember you had them cartoons and they pour some of that to the ground and give you that fizzing sound.
For a better clean with less,
Mike, hey, Mike would have went in there. Every time Mike went in there and took a piss, man, the fire, they had to have 2 firemen on post, dog.
We've grown to over 70 times our revenue in 4 years.
Hey, man,
Make every moment count.
Mike was on that goddamn good shit, that Superman shit before the goddamn horse accident.
No matter
Serious.
what kind of teeth you gotta brush, Oral-B Electric cleans better.
Serious, bro. That shit crazy. Shout out to the OG Bruce Cast Boxing Jazz some more. What's good with it, man? Shout out to the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience. Team Tucker Official, what's good? Salute to you. JD on deck, what's good? I see you. MKB on deck. Jake needs to build himself, and by fighting has beans isn't going to make people respect him. But I know as a free thinker. What are you talking about, free? Everybody's a free thinker because they're freely thinking about something. But I know as a free thinker, he definitely. So you're a free thinker. Everybody's a free thinker. But I get what you're saying, that NKB. Definitely ain't banking on my opinion, which is in the case. Y'all got to keep them. Y'all got to keep them short. Y'all got to keep them short. Yep, he couldn't do nothing. Make that middle in a tire fight. I don't know who you saying couldn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you said, bro, leave the ass alone. Hey, I'm not. Look, all I'm saying, I see all these people that freaking claim to be, into it with women, but they got Mike Tyson shit on loop. That's all. They up here going to the editing, they putting that shit on loop and going in here and say, now why would Mike do that? Why would Mike do that? You know what I'm saying? No, bro, that shit wasn't cool at all. Because the shit he doing would be absolutely considered disrespectful and distasteful in another setting. But since it was boxing, let's just say he did it on another promotion. You know what I'm saying? Hey, boxers, the real boxers that's with all these other promotions, try to do what Mike did. Try to do that. Y'all don't have the cojones to do it. Try to do what he did. Grab your shit. Grab your junk and goddamn flash it to the crowd. Grab it. When the camera's in there, when the network is in there, do an interview and then walk away with your ass showing and see what happened. See if they're gonna go. They come back there immediately and say, "Hey, we're gonna hold your check until we review this." But I didn't know I didn't have on trunks. We're gonna hold your check. I give it to you, Jake Thought. Though he's a marketing genius, make tens of millions with these stupid fights. But see, they say, look, y'all saying he's a marketing genius. But what? I mean, just because you have money and you have investors behind you, are you really a marketing genius when you came from the Vine era? He came from the Vine era, okay? So he came in here with the support of a lot of people. His parents know a lot of people, their parents. So even with Logan Paul, got his fight with Floyd Mayweather, and then he went over to World Wrestling Entertainment. And he ended up becoming a champion over there. Logan Paul haven't been back over here in the boxing. But Logan Paul came out the gate and he was the one that was the best out of the Paul brothers. You remember when he fought freaking KSI? That was on a real card. And they was bragging about how that did crazy numbers. And it was real fighters on that card. But yet, his brother Jake started coming up. And he went viral for knocking out a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? He went viral for knocking out a basketball player. Dodge J on deck. Salute W says Jake Paul stock drop last night. If you ask Jake Paul, he'll say, if you think my stock dropped, then look at my paycheck. Look at my bank account. That's what he'll say. That's what they're going to continue to say when you're on the status of the Paul brothers. We're making money. You know what I'm saying? The prime drink, all that shit, the sponsorship that it got over the UFC and all that. And them Paul brothers making money. But all I'm saying is the fights that they're putting on, if you consider Jake Paul to be a fighter that you support, and you're up here saying, I got to tune in to Netflix, you driving home, running stop signs and shit, and you goddamn barely, was able to stop the car before you ran into your freaking house. If you that much in a rush to go watch Jake Paul, don't get your ass on here talking about the real fighters and what they ain't doing. Because Jake Paul put on a shit show yesterday. He barely touched Mike. Mike's timing was off. His balance was off. Jake landed a 2-punch combination one time. It barely even grazed Mike's chin. And Mike was off balance. Man, it's age for a reason. They say divisions for a reason. They see weight classes for a reason. Age. It's ages for a reason, dog. This man is 58 strong. I guarantee you, goddamn, you take him to the bathroom and piss him out. They're gonna have to call the hazmat team, that bitch. It's gonna be like Area 62. They're gonna say, we seen a glowing light at this coordinates here, sitting in two jets. We might have an unidentified. No, as you were. Oh, he was just taking a piss. My fault. He was just taking a piss. Can you verify the name? No, I can't. We found out what the source was, where that light was coming from. Shout out to Andrew Charles. What's good? What's good? OG Mr. Golden on deck. What's good? Salute. We live in a beta society, living through other individuals. Yeah, man, them cats busy up here showing Mike Tyson 58-year-old freaking ass on TV, man. Come on, bro. If I can get on here and compliment a woman and they up here screaming and yelling to my disrespect. Oh man, you weird and shit. Like, no, you niggas weird. Y'all always giving Hallmark invitations for a man to give you social media fellatio and shit, but somebody say something about a woman. Oh my God. But y'all up here parading Mike around IG, with his ass out and shit. If it was a black woman, they're still up there. Oh man, she has no class. She has no class at all. That's just crazy. She has no class. Megan Thee Stallion get up this motherfucker and like, oh my God. They do that for the kids? Yeah, nigga, it's an ass. A female ass at that. Tone Deaf, what's good? Canelo would love to cherry pick for his fans. Hey, he's been rehearsing. Now it all ties in. It makes sense to me. He's been rehearsing. The complimentary knockdown and then taking Jake Paul to the distance. Because Jake Paul is not getting the win over Canelo. But he's going to go the distance with him. He's going to go the distance with a record like he has. They're going to try to frame this shit with all the antics and promo and all that, how he's going to knock Canelo. Man, I'm so tired of this bullshit that they do. I'm so tired of it. I have to move on. As you see right here in the thumbnail, who would be the last man standing? After seeing Mario Barrios, right? You have to ask yourself, out of these four champions, who could potentially be the last man standing? Right now, Barrios is looking extremely accessible to anybody for unification, their first unification. For Brian Norman Jr., Jerron Ennis, or Stantionis. The man continues to take punishment. You know what I'm saying? So if Ennis, per se, was planning on risking it and say, I will stay down in the welterweight division just a little bit longer based off what I seen last night. Ennis is looking at how people looked at his fight and how they say Ennis is food. Now Ennis is looking at Barrios after his last fight, and all the other two champions are looking to say, hey, Barrios is food. I think I can knock his ass out for real. I think I can beat him. So it's a good, solid lineup for 2025 to see who's going to get first dibs at Stantionis, Barrios, Norman Ennis. How's this going to start coming together? How's it going to start meshing itself together? I know Barrios didn't look well yesterday. I want to hear all the criticism on Mario Barrios like you do certain other fighters, because he did not look good at all. Dude was getting beat up once again, and I don't understand it, yo. I don't understand why Barrios have to go in there and get beat up every freaking fight. And he has one of the best walkouts, man. Lackluster, man. He has one of the best walkouts with his people. But why is his people allowing him to go get beat up like that? Is that a warrior's way? Is that the Lackluster way, like the mind? Like, what do you have to do? You have to go in there and look like you've been in war to be accepted? I don't know what it's about, bro. I respect what he got going on. I do. I respect it. But I just don't get it. when I say I respect the tribe that he's supporting and everything like that. But what I don't understand, nor do I have to respect, is how he go in there and take freaking punishment. And like that's supposed to sustain your durability. How's that supposed to sustain that shit? How are you supposed to stay healthy, bro? And you just got your newborn on deck as young as you are. Still in your 20s, man. New wife. Man, they're going to be crawling. They're going to be crawling. Man, I'm telling them, they're going to come running to try to get that first fight with Barrios. Serious. They're going to try to get that fight with Barrios as quick as yesterday. It was probably, a couple of them champions in the parking lot, with their attorney trying to get Barrios to sign some freaking documents. Say, hey, let me get next, man. Let me get next, man. Hell of a fight. Just keep repeating themselves. Let me get next. Hell of a fight. Let me get next. Hey, they was up there trying to butter freaking Mario Barrios up, man. They was up there trying to butter Mario Barrios up. They was like, hey, man, hell of a fight. Let me get next. You solid. One of the best. No, bro. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Don't nobody want to hear that. But boxing is changing as we know it. Don't complain about what Turkey Alex Sheik has going on. But focus on a division like the 147 pound, which has solid names in every sanctioning body. We just hope that we start locking in to some matchups. That's what we want. We want to lock into some matchups right here, bro. We want to see after Mario Barrios went and got dropped in the 6th round. We want to see, who he's going to fight next. If he's going to fight a soft touch, because look, I'm going to be honest. Whoever he fight next out of these three, Stanthionis, Norman Jr., and Ennis, he's losing his title. He is. He's losing his title, bro. He's losing his title, period. And I don't think he's going to be back in the ring anytime soon. We might see Barrios back in mid-2025, mid-semester 2025, something like that. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back for midterms in 2025. I think that's when we're going to see him. Because I think that's when Brian Norman's supposed to return back sometime around mid-semester, May, June, or whatever. Not sure about Ennis and Stanthionis. I think he should have a fight coming up or whatever. But yeah, man. Who will be the last man standing is a good question for everybody. Because we need to see these freaking champions start to fight one another. And yes, I do know I was on here saying that Jaron Ennis should move up to 154. And I still stand on that. Not because the division, Mario Barrios look like food. It's just because with him and his weight loss, I don't think he's able to maximize his ability to perform at optimum level at 147 with the IBF rehydration clause. I may be wrong, but that's the way I feel right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at this time. But shout out to UFC 309. My boy John Jones is back on deck. He's fighting Stipe Miocic, and it's going to get interesting as to how that whole situation play out. And I will be back on a little bit later for that UFC 309 card. But shout out to everyone for supporting the channel. And stop looping that freaking Mike Tyson freaking situation with him showing his black ass to everybody. Don't nobody want to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to see that shit, man. Real talk. But y'all hold it down. Continue to support the channel on my